Hi students, today I shall discuss about class 12 subject physics and the first unit, first chapter, okay. So first unit, that is electrostatics, and the first chapter of that unit is electric charges and field, okay. First of all, we should know the meaning of the unit, okay, then the meaning of the chapter. So a unit का मतलब क्या है? What is the meaning of that unit? Electrostatics. Electro means what? Electro means charge, okay, charge, and statics means at rest. So that is charges at rest. That is the electrostatics, okay. So electrostatics का मतलब क्या है? Charges at rest. Now, what is the name of the chapter? The name of the chapter is electric charges and field, okay. So electric charge, what is that? Obviously I will discuss electric charge and about the field. Now let me move to the chapter. I just told about the meaning of the unit, that is electrostatics. So first of all, before moving that chapter, what we should know? Yes, we should know about the meaning of the or definition of the chapter. That is, what is the definition of electrostatics? Okay, definition. I told the literal meaning of the electrostatics, but what is the definition? Definition is that the branch of physics which deals with charges at rest. Means what? Yeah, means it is a special branch of physics which analyze or deals with the charges at rest. That is the electrostatics, okay. That is the definition of electrostatics. After that, if we want to know the electrostatics, we should know how the statical charges are developed, okay. That means frictional electricity. Frictional electricity. Very important and interesting also. Frictional electricity. So I think you got some idea about the frictional electricity from your childhood phenomenon, है ना? What you have done during your childhood classes? You have rubbed your pen with hair, maybe your comb with hair, है ना? Now it is balloon, nice balloon, है ना? You see? Yes, I am rubbing. When I am rubbing this balloon with my hair, something is happening. What happens? You see. Attention, please. What happens? See? Yes, the paper beads are attracted. Paper beads are attracted by the balloon. Again, you can see what I said. Paper beads are attracted. Okay. Whenever you will rub this balloon, you rub again and again, and then it will be electrified better. Yes. Have you seen? Yeah. Nice, na? Very nice. So, what I have done? I have simply rubbed this balloon with my hair, and the paper beads has been attracted by the balloon. Okay. And that is the frictional electricity. So, what may be the definition of frictional electricity? Yes, the electricity or the charges, simply, or charges which are developed by rubbing one object with another. That is the what? That is frictional electricity. Okay, I told about the frictional electricity. The charges which is developed by rubbing one object with another. So this is about the frictional electricity. Now, what is electrified object? Electrified object. Suppose this is the balloon. What I have done? I have rubbed the balloon. So this is the balloon, and Here was the paper beads. Whenever I have rubbed the balloon with my hair, that balloon has acquired some charges. Okay? And that balloon is said to be electrified object. That means the object which acquires some charges by rubbing, that is called electrified object. Okay? Now, I told you about the electrified object. Now, electric charge क्या है? ये कैसा है? What is that charge? Electric charge. Yes, electric charge is very interesting concept. So what is that concept? Yes, electric charge is one intrinsic property of mass. What I said? Yes, it is intrinsic property of mass, due to which that mass acquires the property of attraction or the repulsion. Okay, that is simply charge or electric charge. I repeat what I said, the concept of charge. But before getting the concept of charge, you should know charge is not possible to explain without mass. Okay, suppose electron, it is charge, है ना? But electron has some masses, maybe very, very less mass. So whenever I have rubbed that balloon with my hair, then what happens? Some charges transferred to this balloon. तो charges क्या है? Masses है ना? Small masses. And due to which that balloon acquires the property of attraction. Yes, you have seen the paper beads were attracted by the balloon. So that is one intrinsic phenomenon due to which an object attract or repel another object. That is simply concept of electric charge. Okay. So what I said, the simple concept of electric charge. Now there are some fundamental laws about the electric charges. Okay, fundamental laws. Fundamental laws of electrostatics. There are two laws. Okay, number one, very interesting, like charges, suppose positive and positive or negative and negative. So what they will do? Yes, they will repel. Like charges repel each other. Okay, and number two is unlike charges attract each other. What I said? Like charges, suppose positive and positive. What they will do? They are similar charges, so obviously they will repel because similar phenomena are there, and that's why they will repel. Negative and negative, yes, they will repel. But in case of unlike charges, suppose positive and negative, yeah, they are different, है ना, opposite. They are the unlike charges. So what they will do? They will attract each other, plus minus or minus and plus. Obviously they will what? They will attract. Okay. So these 1 and 2, these two laws are the fundamental laws of electrostatics. Very simple, है ना? Very simple. Okay. So I said about the fundamental laws. Now let us move to the history of this chapter and some terminology, means some terms. Vitreous charge and resinous charge. What I said? Vitreous charge. Another is resinous. What is this vitreous charge? Yes, vitreous charge means when glass is rubbed with silk silk cloth, then glass will acquire positive charge. What charge? Positive charge. So this positive charge, previously they has given the name as vitreous charge. So it is one new term. Vitreous charge means positive charge. Okay. Now what is resinous charge? Yes, when ember is rubbed with wool. So when ember is rubbed with wool, what will happen? क्या होगा? Yes, that ember will acquire negative charge. What? Negative charge. So that negative charge has been defined as resinous charge. Okay. So resin, it is one type of resin. Ember, one type of resin. So that's why it is called resinous charge. Okay. So you came to know two new words. One is vitreous, that is positive. Another is resinous, that is negative charge. Okay. So in this modern time, we tell about only just a positive charge and the negative charge. But previously, the name of that positive charge was what? Vitreous charge, and that resinous charge, that is negative. Now, let me explain about the electrostatic series. I have shown you that rubbing develops charges. But whenever two objects will be rubbed, on which object positive charge will be there, on which object negative charge will be there, that is a matter of concept. That is a matter of knowledge. And that's why scientists made one series of different objects, and they has given serial numbers. Suppose, okay, let us explain about the electrostatic series. Electrostatic series. Number 1, fire. Okay. Number 2, flannel. Okay. And number 3 is sealing wax. Sealing wax. And number 4, glass. Number 5, cotton. Number 6, paper. Number 7, silk. Number 8, human body. Number 9, wood. And so on. More objects are there in the electrostatic series. Now, let me explain about this different objects. So, what I said about the electrostatic series. There are different objects. Just I have written 9 objects. Number 1 is fire, then flannel, sealing wax, then glass, cotton, paper, silk, human body, wood. Now, if I take fire and flannel, okay, that is number 1 and number 2. And if I rub fire with flannel, then what will happen? On the fire, positive charge will be developed, and on the flannel, negative charge will be developed. Means what? That means whenever we shall take any two objects from this electrostatic series, and if we rub them, then positive charge will be developed on the earlier one and negative charge will be developed on the later one. Is it clear? Let me explain again with another example. Suppose you will take flannel and glass. Then whenever you will rub this flannel with glass, that flannel will acquire positive charge and that glass will acquire negative charge. Okay. That means what? In the series, flannel is earlier object and glass is later one. That's why according to law of electrostatic series, a positive charge will be developed on the earlier one and negative charge will be developed on the later one. Suppose you will take a fur and silk, then what will happen? If you rub, yes, that fur will acquire positive and that silk will acquire negative charge. But if you rub this silk with human body, then silk will acquire positive charge and human body will acquire negative charge. Okay, so this is very interesting that in this series all the objects, they can change their characteristics. Whenever you will rub with any two objects, then the previous object will acquire the positive charge, means on that object positive charge will be developed, and the later one it will acquire the negative charge. Okay, and this is the concept of what? Electrostatic series. So this is one series of different objects. Now come to the next topic, that is electronic theory of frictional electricity. Electronic theory of frictional electricity. Frictional electricity. Very interesting phenomenon. Whenever you will rub one object with another, suppose this object is rubbed with balloon, okay, then one object will lose electrons and those electrons will be acquired by another object. I am giving one practical example. Suppose silk cloth and glass rod. Okay, this is glass rod and this is silk cloth. Whenever this glass rod will be rubbed with silk cloth, then what will happen? That glass rod will lose the electrons and the silk cloth will acquire those electrons. Okay, that means electrons will be transferred and silk cloth will be negative and glass rod will be positive. Now question arises, why? Yes, there is one concept, inner concept. What is that? You know that whenever any object is rubbed, then the electrons will be transferred. Which electrons? Yes, the loosely bounded electrons. They are the outermost electrons known as valence electrons. Okay, so those electrons will be transferred. But why not the electrons from the silk cloth? Why from the glass rod? It is about the work function. Work function. So let me get the concept of work function. So what is work function? Yes, it is the amount of energy required to transfer an electron from one object to another object. Okay, in this case glass rod has less amount of work function and the silk cloth has more amount of work function. What I said, glass rod has less amount of work function and that silk cloth has more amount of work function. So whenever you will rub this glass with silk cloth, as the glass rod has the less amount of work function, obviously the electrons will be transferred. This glass rod will lose the electrons. Okay, so electrons will be transferred to the silk cloth and the silk cloth will get those electrons and glass rod will be obviously positively charged and the silk cloth will be negatively charged. That is the main concept about the electronic theory of frictional electricity. Main thing is that about the work function. Okay, if a body has less work function, obviously it will lose the electrons. And the body which are having more work function, it will gain the electrons. Okay, that is the basic concept of electronic theory of frictional electricity. Okay, so you should mind, just you should keep it in your mind about the work function. It is the amount of energy required to liberate an electron or to transfer an electron from an object. Okay, so I said about the electronic theory of frictional electricity. Now, what is the cause of charging? Cause of charging. Why any object gets charged? Yeah, that I told. Again I am telling by another heading. Actually, cause of charging is that just losing or gaining electrons. Nothing else. Simply just losing or gaining electrons. So whenever any object is rubbed with another object, I told that silk cloth, whenever you will rub one glass rod with that silk cloth, then obviously that glass rod will be acquired positive charge and the silk cloth will acquire negative charge. Now question arises, why they are charged? Yes, they are charged due to loss of electron and gain of electrons. So that glass rod has been charged positively, okay, and that silk cloth has been charged negatively. That means just loss of electron and gain of electron. Whenever you have rubbed that glass rod with silk cloth, it has lose some electrons, and that is the cause of charging. It has been charged positively and it has been charged negatively. Okay, so it is the main cause behind the charging of any object. Now the next topic is that, does proton transfer during rubbing? That is important concept. Does proton transfer during rubbing? Whenever you will rub one glass rod with silk cloth, again and again I am telling this example because it is very simple and easy example. I told that electrons will be transferred, है ना? मैंने क्या कहा? मैंने कहा whenever you will rub this glass rod with this silk cloth, electrons will be transferred. What? Electrons. But what about the protons? No, protons will not transfer because protons are inside the nucleus and electrons are on the different shells. Suppose this is the nucleus of an atom and protons are there inside the nucleus. Obviously neutrons are there. I am telling about the protons only. So suppose electrons are there in the different orbits. Now electrons are in the outer part, in the extranuclear part of an atom, and hence these electrons can be transferred. Okay, but protons are there inside the nucleus, and you know that nuclear force is there, and due to nuclear force, you know that binding energy is there, and due to that binding energy, the protons and the neutrons are tightly bounded with each other inside the nucleus. So it is not possible to transfer them by rubbing only. Okay, that means protons is not possible to transfer by rubbing. Okay, so this is about the transfer of electron only, and protons will be not transferred. Also neutrons will be not transferred. Okay, so I told about the transfer. Now charge of mass due to rubbing or change of mass. Change of mass due to rubbing. Whenever you will rub an object with another object, I told that charges will be transferred. Now question arises, is mass is transferred? Is there is any transfer of mass? Yes, obviously. I told that electron has mass. So whenever electron is transferred from one object to another, suppose this is an object, it is another object. You have rubbed this object with that object and electrons are transferred from this pen to this duster. So obviously the mass of the duster will be increased and the mass of the pen will be decreased. Maybe very, very less mass of about the electron, but there is mass, है ना? So whenever any object is charged by rubbing, obviously mass will be changed. The object which acquires negative charge, its mass will be increased, and the object whose charge will be positive, its mass is decreased. What I said, I repeat. Suppose I say about the glass rod and the steel cloth. So whenever glass rod acquires positive charge, means electron has been transferred, mass has been decreased. So mass will be decreased. And the negatively charged object, that is the steel cloth, obviously its mass will be increased. क्योंकि electron has been transferred, है ना? So electron has mass and the steel cloth has acquired the masses. So mass of the steel cloth will be increased. Okay. So this is very simple concept. If you think that there is no change of masses, it is wrong. Okay. Obviously change of masses are there due to rubbing. Now what I said, change of masses. Now conductor क्या है, insulator क्या है? कंडक्टर क्या है और इंसुलेटर क्या है? You got this concept in your junior classes, but let me move to the inner concept. Conductor means the substances which can conduct charges, and insulator means which cannot conduct charges. That is the lower level concept. But what about the class 12 concept? Yes, conductor means the objects having valence electrons in their outermost shells, they are said to be conductors. Okay? And the objects having no valence electrons on their outermost shell, they are said to be insulators. Okay? If we move to the more deeper concept, then what we can say? Yes, in case of insulator, the work function is more. And in case of conductor, the work function is less. Yes, that is another concept. So this is what about conductor and insulator. So conductor, they has what? Conductor has valence electrons, more number of valence electrons, and the insulator, they has no valence electrons. Okay. So today, whatever I have discussed, I think all are clear to you. Just I have explained about the introductory part of this chapter and different inner concept of different words, fundamental laws, and these things. On the next class, I shall discuss about the next topics of this chapter. Okay. So till then, bye bye.